You know, cap to us means you about to get talked about. You guys use it as in no lying.
You know what I'm saying? So first, before cap meaning that you gonna get talked about, cap first, the first cap was you gonna get shot.
Boom.
That was the first cap. You know what I'm saying? That boy said, boy, I cap you. You know what I'm saying? That was, if somebody say that, sheesh, you might want to duck. You know what I'm saying? You might want to get out of Dodge. Or somebody walk by, that boy got capped. You know what I'm saying? Sheesh, that boy got shot. You know what I'm saying? Then, after a little bit of time, it's like, oh, nah, them boys capping over there. You know what I'm saying? That didn't mean them boy lying. That meant them boys over there talking about each other, they making jokes, you know what I'm saying? Shooting jokes at each other, you know what I'm saying? You got capped on.
Well, I'm about to cap on you with them ugly shoes, with that ripped up shirt, with your, that's
now, y'all, you know what I'm saying? Now y'all talking about capping this line, you know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? I still ain't found out how that makes sense.
Yeah,
you know.
I don't really like that one.
You said it's giving, I was like, oh.
Yeah, I'm still here. I still got it.
What's giving?
Yeah.
It's giving. What does that mean?
Miss Dorch be saying that.
What's that? It's giving. What are you talking about? What's that?
She be like, it's giving.
I know what you mean. Like, it's giving, you know what you're doing. Or like.
What's it's giving?
It's what you're giving.
It's like, it's like.
Because my mom is bleaching. My mom bleached her dreads and she dyed them purple.
Okay.
So Uncle Philip was like, when I showed him the pictures of my mom with her hair bleached, he was like, it's giving you. And I was like.
But what does it's giving mean? Like.
It's like.
I want to hear when I'm trying to explain it.
Yeah.
It's giving means it's like.
Say you wear an outfit or something like that looks like it's Halloween, that'd be like it's giving Halloween or something.
Yeah, it's
like
giving
that.
spooky.
It's like,
It's giving scary.
So it's like saying it's giving off.
Yeah.
But they don't put the off in there.
On it. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So they just say it's giving.
Like it's giving off spooky vibes. You know what I'm saying? But instead y'all saying it's giving vibes. I don't know. Like
you gotta say something. It gotta sound
it's giving
ignorant.
spooky vibes. You know what I'm saying?
No, it doesn't.
Like
no,
when we did stuff
always
like
gotta
that,
sound-
we
it gotta
created
sound-
our own language. Like y'all didn't create y'all own language. Like we would be like, you know what I'm saying, we going to Mickey Thuggin real quick.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? We
yeah.
had our like own language, you know what I mean? So,
That's all right. These kids can't, you know what I'm saying?
yeah, it's like that.
They can't keep up. You know what I'm saying? That's all right. They can't keep up.
Like you had regular like what's cool that everybody say, and then you had like this is our own language.
Hey
We
TJ,
had, like,
and what I'm gonna do to you is
All
not
right.
gonna be nice. You know what I'm saying? We only going to 3 points. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, I'm like.
We only going to 3 points. Make it, take it. You know what I'm talking about? We ain't playing none of these games. What?
I get one. Or we see
We shoot for the first shot.
Wait,
You know what I'm
but
saying?
It's going down because I gotta be there.
Make it, take it. You know what I'm talking about? We only going to 3. I ain't got it in me. You know what I'm saying?
Man,
We
I
only
got
going to
close.
3. And we doing by ones, right?
do it tomorrow.
Listen, I'ma light your butt up. You might score 1 point. And that's the only way, listen, the only way you gonna score a point is if it's gonna be after I've already scored 2 and I'm tired already. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna take 1 play off just so I can get my last point, because after 2 points, I'm tired. You know what I'm talking about? So I'm gonna take 1 play off, a little rest. I'm gonna let you get 1. And after that, play some defense, take the ball from you. You know what I'm saying? Or make you miss, block your shot, whatever we gonna do. And now I'm lighting your butt up.
Uncle
We
Phil,
could
you
do
gotta
this
give a little sauce. You gotta.
I'm gonna beat you
No, it makes
while
sense.
I'm watching the Warriors beat the Grizzlies.
y'all finna get y'all butts kicked. Grizzlies ain't losing to no word. You seen them play lately?
I do gotta catch that game. Sabbath peace.
Sabbath peace.
It's another opportunity for us to hear and learn of the word of truth that's given to us by the Most High God. All honor goes to the Father through the Son, whose name is Yahushua. In him lies the only hope for salvation. We know that it is obtained by grace through faith, not of works, lest anyone should boast, and given freely as a gift to all who obey him. We understand that if you do not obey him, it is made manifest or made obvious that you do not believe. In this state, you should expect no good thing from the Most High. However, anything that you do get, whether it be a gift of tongues, a gift of prophecy, or any supernatural experience that you may have, it can and it will be used against you in the day of judgment. With that said, peace to the saints that are in the room, to the saints that couldn't make it, but no peace to the wicked. The only thing we say to them is repent that they might live.
Oh, you seen them like winter storms all over the place?
Yeah, buddy, down in
Like the northeast, like Ohio, Chicago area, and Michigan.
oh no, I ain't seen that. I know they had some winter storms down in the
Down
down
south?
like down south,
Like
down
Louisiana and Virginia.
yeah, I think like Miami and the Caribbeans and all that. Like I think it was the storms.
That's tropical weather.
Like tropical weather, yeah. That's why it was weird. Isaiah was out there. He had told me about it, and then I looked it up a little bit after that. I was like, oh, that's crazy. Yeah, I'd have been mad if I had a vacation out there. And, that happened.
Veron told me it was 12 degrees all day today. Yeah,
it be getting cold in Texas now. They say.
Yeah.
Where we leave off last week? No idea.
You wasn't here, and you was asleep. You was asleep.
Crazy how you was asleep.
No, I remember the beginning. Dude was using the bathroom in the cave.
And then he came at the
I remember that.
got a piece of his robe.
And Dave.
And then he thought back.
Zahar, you fall asleep every week. I don't
Look,
even.
He was using the bathroom in the same cave as he was looking for somebody in. The dude was hiding.
And then
watching
David
him
came
use the
out.
bathroom.
I mean,
And then
he
he
had
took
like
the robe
a
and
friend,
cut it.
And
like-
then
it was on
my
the mountain.
friend told him to cut a piece of the robe. He cut it, and David felt bad. Then when he was done,
It was on
He wiped himself with the robe.
No.
it was on the mountain.
I'm like, what?
And
wait,
David
no.
was on
And
the
then
run.
he covered his poop. Then he got his robe, and he was like, "Where's the piece of his robe?" And then David came from behind and was like, "Look, I cut a piece of your robe."
And then what? That's good.
Rope
This
or
is the best y'all ever done. What is it? Y'all got like the first 5 minutes of study last week. So what y'all got after that?
Uncle Philip, rope or robe?
Robe.
It's like his robe,
Cause
like his coat.
And then Saul's kingdom was being taken away. It was going to be taken away.
Mm-hmm.
And
But he said,
drawing a blank. You got to give me like a hint.
no, when the dude, before he went to go use the bathroom.
But yeah, he was finna kill him, but David didn't want to because it was like, he was like,
But before all that,
Before all what? Okay, go ahead. Sorry, my fault.
before all that, the dude that was pooping, when
You
they
stuck on
came-
that poop part.
I know. When they came to look for David, he said all his like recruits everywhere, and so he could go take a poop. And he pooped in the same. He pooped in the same.
What happened after the poop situation? Can y'all tell me what happened afterwards?
Oh, the dude wanted to fight him, but David was like, no.
Okay. Who wanted to fight who?
The one that pooped.
Okay.
so
He didn't want to fight him.
no, like he was jealous that David was taking over the like
Oh,
he was
yeah.
getting popular, like it's like
David
was
was
killing
getting
him.
popular.
like so one person killed 500, then the next killed 1,000, like that, like David killed like
No,
more than
half
he
a
did.
thousand, and one killed 1,000. Yeah.
Zahar, what do you think half a thousand is?
Y'all are hilarious. Okay, so we got poop. We got Saul being jealous. David cut his robe. Saul called him out. Or David called him out, let him know, yo. Saul was like, yo, you more righteous than me, right? But what happened after that? Remember, David left and he escaped and he went somewhere. Where did he go? Or was both of y'all asleep at this point?
I think he went to hide.
Where'd he go hide? Who'd he meet? Who'd he run into?
The giant?
No, he ran into the Philistines.
Oh.
Oh yeah, and it was like not five, but it was like a couple of David men and a whole army of Philistines, or like Philistines. They were outnumbered. And then
And what happened?
like I guess they fought anyway. And I don't know.
I don't know what you talking about.
I'm drawing a blank because I remember David and him is. I don't know. David and some other people were outnumbered by the Philistines, and after that one. I don't like something happened. Like I remember.
Nah, he played dumb in front of the king and then had to run back over to, you know what I'm saying,
The
where he was
last time
from.
I remember something.
Oh yeah, he acted like he was drunk.
Chasing you.
He acted like he is
He
mad.
act like he was crazy.
Yeah,
He
crazy.
was drooling and slobbering and stuff.
But yeah, I think that was
Yeah,
the
that
week
was
before
before,
that.
yeah, that was
So last week he left and he went into a secluded area in Judah, and he ran into a young he ran into young men that were in that were what were they doing? They were shaving their
They were
sheep.
shearing the sheep.
Yes, they were shaving their sheeps to get, you know what I'm saying, a lot of our clothes sometimes are made of wool. And so when you take a sheep, you'll cut the hair off of the sheep, and then that's what wool is. So you'll take that wool and then you'll make a, you know what I'm saying, you might make a sweater or something out of it, right? So they were shaving the sheep, and he pretty much was being cordial and protecting them. All right, y'all remember this party? Y'all was already asleep. So then that's why y'all brothers gotta stay up, right? Then after that, David ended up sending a message to the man who owned the land. His name was Nabal, right? And at that point, Nabal was like, listen, why should I help you, right? In other words, why should I look out for you and feed you and all this stuff? I got my own people that I got to take care of, right? David didn't like that, because David was like, man, I didn't come to you like in no disrespectful way. You know what I'm saying? I'm just asking you for a little bit of help, and I helped you out, and you didn't even have to ask me for that help. I helped you out. You know what I'm saying? You don't even realize how much I helped you, right? So David got mad, and he said, man, I'm about to kill this dude, and I'm about to kill all the people that work for, all the men who work for him. So when the gentleman's wife, Nabal's wife, Nabal, I don't know how to say his name, but Nabal's wife, when she heard about it, she was an understanding woman. So she's very, very understanding, very intelligent. She knew how to resolve issues. She knew how to sort through things very quickly. She is a quick thinker. So as soon as she heard about it, she said, okay, let me diffuse this situation. I think she got some bread, you know what I'm saying, maybe some goods. And she met David on his way to come kill her husband and all 8 people. She met him and she bowed down to him, and she said a bunch of kind things, and she kind of spoke some things that she thought was destined for him, right? She basically just like, you gonna be king one day, this, that, and another. These are the types of things that diffused David, right? And she knew it would diffuse him, right? It diffused David. So it got to put a place like, you know what I'm saying? Okay. And so she kept talking, basically saying like, yo, you don't have to take vengeance on yourself. You know what I'm saying? Most High God to take vengeance. So she's saying stuff like that to him, because we know that David is serious about the Most High God. He's serious about obeying God. So she tried to remind him of the scripture, right? In a way, kind of remind him of a scripture without teaching him, without doing any of that. She just wanted to say, hey, yo, this is what I know about you, right? And reminded him about his principles in the scripture. After she did that, David, you know what I'm saying, he calmed down and he relaxed and said, okay, I ain't gonna kill nobody. You know what I'm saying? She accepted the gifts, and those gifts happened to be what he was really asking for in the first place, right? So she goes back and she goes to talk to her husband. Her husband is having a party at that same time. And we laughed about it a little bit, because it's like, he didn't want to help David out, but at the same time, he just threw a big party. Some of the expenses that he spent on that party could have gone to help David out, right? But he didn't want to help David out. His wife took care of it, gave David what he needed. David is cool. She comes back and she talks to her husband, and he has his party. She don't mention nothing about David. But then the next morning, she told him, she broke to him like, you don't even understand. It don't say exactly what she said, but the book says she told him everything that happened. And basically it's like, you know what I'm saying, he's about to kill you, and he's about to kill everybody there. So after she told him and explained the situation, the book say that he became like stone. I think that's what it say. He became like stone, and his heart, or maybe his heart became like stone. It's one or two, but he became like stone and his heart stopped working, right? You would think that he got scared, he got shocked, had a stroke. He, you know what I'm saying, was some type of, you know what I'm saying, the Most High God struck him down is what happened. But, you know what I'm saying, that was his response.
His heart died within him.
Yeah,
Became as a stone.
So his heart died with that. So his heart just froze up. So you'd think he had like a heart attack or something. And he froze up. So he just, you know what I'm saying, he just was like a stone. He was just stiff. And so when we look at that, we would think that's a medical, it not just think, that would be described as a medical condition for us, right? They would say, oh, he had a seizure, or he had a heart attack, or, hey, y'all cut that out, right? He had a seizure, or he had a stroke, or he had a heart attack or something like that. That's how they describe it if it was an ambulance there talking to him, right? But the book says he stayed like that for 10 days until he was pronounced dead, right? Today it's like, okay, now he's really gone. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why that happens is because the Most High God struck him down for how he was evil against David, right? So when he was evil against David, the Most High God dealt with him and gone. After that, after David heard that he died, guess what David did? he sent for his wife. So he said, hey, Abigail, you single now, right? Well, come on, but I like some of that stuff that you said to me, right? Because you remember, she came to him and she said a bunch of stuff that was honorable to him. She was like, man, never mind my husband. My husband, don't even listen to him. He just like his name, foolish, right? So as soon as David saw he was out the way, David was like, yo, you know what I mean? Why don't you,
The book said she was very pretty.
Yeah, the book says she is a good looking woman and she was understanding. That's important.
Very smart.
Right? Because if you have that piece, if David is looking for somebody who's understanding, right? And he then finds it in a woman, maybe he's looking for just anybody who understands it. But he finds it in a woman that's also beautiful. And what do you know? Now she's single. You know what I'm saying? He's like, you know what I'm saying? Call her. But then at the same time, he met another woman. What was her name?
Michael.
It wasn't Michael. It was like, start with an H, right?
Let's see.
Or was it like Phoebe or something like that? No, it was like start with an H.
Is Abigail.
Sit up, boy.
No, so I'll give it Michael. Oh, no. I forget her name.
It is Halter, right? What did you just had it?
No. That's somebody else.
No, that's it. Read it.
It said Saul had given Michael his daughter to David's wife. His daughter, David's wife, to Palti, the son of Laish. So
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, keep going.
that's who took it.
Or is it before that?
It must be before. Hold on.
It should be right before that.
Abigail rose and she became his wife. David also took a henna woman.
A henna woman.
A Jezreel.
There we go. You know what I'm saying? A henna woman.
So
You know what I'm saying?
Abigail.
So he got two wives. So remember, he had one wife, Michael, right? His father-in-law, Saul, the one who's trying to kill him, he ended up giving that wife to another man. So his other wife is technically cheating on him right now. He then got two additional wives, right? And said, okay, we roll. Okay? It's important because we're about to see how his life plays out, right? So I want to make sure we call these things out so you can kind of see who David is, right? So let's pick up where we left off. We left off where?
We left off after, remember he was like, yeah, is that you, Abner? You know what I'm saying? You supposed to be protecting Saul. I got my man Spear right here.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So David caught him again, sleeping in the middle of a field. Most High God put a sleep over all the men. Then they snuck up. They took his spear, and I think he took something else from him, right?
Cruise of water.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Took his spear, took his water, and then called out and woke him up. And he is like, yo, Abner. Abner is Saul's like right-hand man. That's his
Commander of the army.
His like cousin or uncle. You know what I'm saying? That's like his right-hand man. You know what I'm saying? So Abner is supposed to protect Saul. So after, if David was able to grab his spear and his water, that would suggest that Abner wasn't protecting him. So he called out to Abner, was like, hey, ain't you supposed to be protecting the king? You know what I'm saying? Check around. Why don't you see your spear, your water? You know what I'm saying? I got your stuff. That tells them, it's like, oh, you got close enough proximity to me where you could have killed me and I wouldn't have known it, right? So they had that, you know what I'm saying? Saul had a similar interaction like, yo, you know what I'm saying? You more righteous than me. You know what I'm saying? It's peace, pretty much, we good, you know what I'm saying? All that. But, you know what I'm saying? Saul keeps saying things like that, but then at the same time, he turns around and he tries to kill him, right? That's what people do when they, you know what I'm saying? Like when they repent, people say they repent every day. You know what I'm saying? You'll see that, you know what I'm saying? You talk to people that go to church and everything, like, oh, I repent every day. Basically what they're saying is, I sin, I say I'm gonna stop sinning, and then I sin again. And then I say I'm gonna stop sinning, and I sin again. What that means is you double-minded. That means you living with two things in your mind at the same time. We shouldn't do that, right? We should focus with one principle. I'm gonna be righteous, right? And we keep moving with that, right? So let's go ahead and pick up, what chapter we on?
1 Samuel 27.
First Samuel, oh, we almost wrapping this thing up. What's the last chapter of 1 Samuel? 31? 31, right?
Yep.
Ooh, you about to wrap this thing up now. This is 1 Samuel chapter 27. Give me verse 1. Let's see what the book say. Let's get right to it then. Hey, Sister Sharon. Hey, Sister Pamela. That's right. Yeah, Abigail was a good communicator. So Sharon said Abigail was a great communicator. She was.
Yeah, buddy.
This is 1 Samuel chapter 27, verse 1. Let's see what the book say.
And David said in his heart, I shall now perish one day by the hand of Saul. There is nothing better for me than I should speedily escape into the land of the Philistines. And Saul shall despair of me to seek me any more in any coast of Israel. So shall I escape out of his hand. And David arose and he passed over with the 600 men that were with him unto Achish, the son of Machok, king of Gath.
So right now,
Mayoch.
David is saying, look, it don't
Mayoch.
make no sense for me to stay in Israel because one day Saul gonna catch me slipping. I keep playing with this man and I'm trying to stay in my homeland, but it don't make no sense for me to stay here because eventually Saul is going to get me. So he said, let me get up out of here. So he go where?
To the Philistines.
He go to where the Philistines are.
Achish, the son of Mayoch, king of Gath.
Okay. So he go to the king of Gath, right? And let's see what happens here.
And David dwelt in Achish at Gath, he and his men, every man with his household, even David with his 2 wives, Ahinoam the Jezreelitess, and Abigail the Carmelitess, Nabal's wife. And it was told Saul that David fled to Gath, and he sought no more again for him.
Right. So after Saul heard that he went to Gath in the Philistines territory, he was like, all right.
Yeah,
Now
okay.
Saul could have been thinking a couple things. He could have been thinking, I don't want to have to go to war with the Philistines over David, right? Or he also could have been thinking, them Philistines to get his butt. You know how many Philistines David killed? David, he probably looking like, oh, that boy,
He's a gunner.
he most wanted
It's like
over
both.
there.
It's like David's a goner, and I can't go into the Philistines' land because they gonna get me too.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I ain't about to go. I ain't about to start a war with them on their own land. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? And even if he believe I can get him, he looking like, man, that's gonna cost me a lot of people.
So he's wanted. Like,
David had wanted, yeah, David had wanted over there because he didn't want the war. You remember the saying that you were talking about. Saul kills 1,000, but David kills 10,000, right? They talking about Philistines. And then remember, Saul gave David, he's like, I want 100, not scalps. He said, I want 100 foreskins, right? To get a foreskin, I mean, you got to cut somebody, you know what I'm saying? You got to cut somebody private parts, right? So you do that with your enemy, or you have to kill him before you could do something like that, right? So David had to kill. He ended up getting 200 foreskins. So that means he killed about 200 of them boys, right? So he's not somebody that's well liked in most of the lands of the Philistines. So when he see that he went to one of the lands of the Philistines, he looking like, oh, he just assumed. I would like to believe that he just assumed like that boy just done. You know what I'm saying? It's either that or he looking at it like it'll cost too much for me to go over there and get David. You know what I'm saying? I got to bring a whole army with me. I'm gonna take some casualties. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna take a whole lot of resources for me to do this. It don't make, you know what I'm saying? It don't make sense for me to do that. Let's see. Let's keep going. Let's see what else we got.
And David said unto Achish, if I have now found grace in your eyes, let them give me a place in some town in the country that I may live there. For why should your servant dwell in the royal city with you? Then Achish gave him Ziklag that day, wherefore Ziklag pertains unto the kings of Judah unto this day. In the time that David dwelt in the country of the Philistines was a full year and 4 months. And David and his men went up and invaded the Geshurites, the Girzites, and the Amalekites. For those nations were of the old inhabitants of the land, as you go to Shur, even unto the land of Egypt. And David smote the land and left neither man nor woman alive, and took away the sheep, and the oxen, and the donkeys, and the camels, and the apparel, and returned and came unto Achish. And Achish said, Where have you made a road today? And David said, Against the south of Judah, and against the south of the Jeremielites, and against the south of the Kenites. And David saved neither man nor woman alive, to bring tidings to Gath, saying, lest they should tell on us, saying, so did David, and so will be his manner all the while he dwells in the country of the Philistines.
All right. So what's happening is, while David is dwelling with his Philistines, he's going out and he's fighting, right? But he's making sure that he's fighting against enemies of Israel, right? When he kills these people, he kills every one of them and doesn't leave any of them alive. Why is it okay for him to do this?
Because in the law, that's what the Most High God wanted to happen to the Amalekites anyway.
The Most High God wanted that to happen to certain nations anyway. All the nations that come of the Amorites, right? The Canaanites, all right? So what he's doing is he'll leave, like, all right, you know what I'm saying, just head it out, you know what I'm saying, just gonna, kind of mosey around. Then he go out there and he find one of these Canaanite descendants, and he kill him. And he leaves nobody alive, exactly as our law says.
As Joshua tried, and a lot of them tried, but if you remember in Joshua, some tribes didn't take their land like they were supposed to, and didn't kill everybody like they were supposed to. So God used that as an opportunity to teach the children of Israel about war, right? So throughout the time that David's alive, if you think he just randomly killing like people, it's really like the nations that God wanted to be gone anyway. And God's using David to do it because David is a righteous vessel for him to pass down judgment, right? So it won't necessarily be so just the way he used Moses to do it, the way he used Joshua to do it, he's using David to do it. These are righteous men that he uses to pass down his judgment. He can also use unrighteous people to pass down judgment, but it's always, it's always like a win-win for God when it's, his man doing it.
That's exactly right. So he's going in, he's finding these nations that are left that we should have taken out already. And that's why the book is saying that he killed them all, because that's according to our law, right? So he's fulfilling the law when he does these things, right? Keep going.
And Achish believed David, saying, he has made his people Israel utterly to hate him. Therefore, he shall be my servant forever.
Right? So you can see right there, like we didn't get the context before, but right now we can see the context, because you might ask yourself, why in the world wouldn't the Philistines kill him? Right? But he tells you right here, he's saying he has made his own people to hate him. So when David comes over, he comes over already with the rumor that Saul is trying to kill him. The enemy of the Philistines are the Israelites. The king of the Israelites are Saul, right? So if Saul is your enemy and you are a very good fighter because you killed a lot of my people, maybe you can fight on my side. So that's the reason why the king of Achish lets him stay there, because he's looking at it. I mean, the king of Gath, the king of Gath lets him stay there because he's looking like, you my enemy, but maybe if your enemy is my enemy, maybe we can be friends. Maybe we can be allies, right? So he's letting them stay there for his own purpose. Then what David is doing for his own purpose is like, hey, I'm just going, we're just going to take a little walk. They're going to journey out, just see what we find down here. Then he go out and he kill a whole nation worth of people, because what he's really doing is long term, he's securing more land for his kingdom. And he's doing it underneath the Philistines without the Philistines even knowing it, right? Keep going, watch this. It's very strategic what David is doing.
And it came to pass in those days that the Philistines gathered their armies together for warfare to fight with Israel. And Achish said unto David, know you assuredly that you shall go out with me to battle, you and your men.
Right? So it's time to fight against Israel. It's time to fight against Saul, right? And the king of Gath look at him, the Philistine, he look at him, he say, David, let me tell you something for sure. Like for sure. Don't even question it. You and all your men, y'all coming out with me. In other words, y'all about to fight against y'all own people on my side, right? That was the whole purpose of him letting David stay. This is what he been waiting for. Like, no, I got you now. I'll protect you. You can stay over here. Saul ain't gonna come get you over here. But let me tell you something. When it's time to fight, you gonna have to fight. And he's looking at him like, just know for sure this is gonna happen, right? So yeah, he got to fight against his own people. So think of it as you Saul, king of Israel, right? Zahar is David, right? And he, sleep, right? He, you know what I'm saying? He runs away, right? He runs away to me. I'm a Philistine. I'm the king of the Philistines. Now me and you, we always at it. We always fighting. And when David used to work for you, I was fighting him too. But when I find out David is on the run from you, David used to do some damage over here. So I know that's a bad boy. So instead of killing him, I'm thinking like, well, if he give me a hard time, if I can get him on my side, he'll give you a hard time too, because you trying to kill him. So he might be at you now, right? So he's looking at it like, all right, well, just know for sure it's time for me to fight Saul again. And David got to line up next to me now. David got to fight for me now, right? Let's see what David say.
And David said to Achish, surely you shall know what your servant can do. And Achan said to David, therefore will I make you keeper of my head forever. Now Samuel was dead, and all Israel had lamented him and buried him in Ramah, even his own city. And Saul had put away those that had familiar spirits and the wizards out of the land. And the Philistines gathered themselves together and came and pitched in Shunem. And Saul gathered all Israel together, and they pitched in Gilboa.
Right? So look, it gave us some important details I don't want us to gloss over. It says Samuel was dead, and they buried Samuel. Who remembers who Samuel was?
I know his name.
Okay. Samuel was the prophet, right? This is who the book is named after. We in the book of Samuel right now. He was the prophet. So you remember he was the prophet, the young prophet who was born to the crying mama because she couldn't have no kids. Most High God let her get a kid. She dedicated him, and then Eli took him over, and then he ran into Eli. He is like, man, I hear somebody calling my name, and Eli was like, no, that's God. Then he heard the prophecy of God. Eli was like, tell it to me. Later, he heard the prophecy from God, and he told it to Eli. He told it to Eli, and it ended up being that his two sons was gonna die. You remember, and his two sons died all in one day, and then Eli was on the chair, and he died too. Right? All that came from the prophecy of Samuel. And Samuel was a prophet that the Most High God didn't let none of his prophecy fall dry, right?
Everything Samuel said came true.
It always came true. So Samuel was the man. Samuel was like the king, right? He was almost like the king. He wasn't king, but he was, the way he ran the whole country, he was one of the first since Joshua. It was only a few people after Joshua that ran the whole country. A lot of the judges we talked about, they ran areas. They ran little regions, you know what I'm saying? But Samuel ran the entire thing. So he was almost like a king. What was that? He was almost like a king. And then after that, Samuel gets old and he dies. So Saul becomes king before Samuel dies. Remember, we wanted a king because we saw that Samuel wasn't going to live long. That's the reason why we wanted a king. So we ended up getting Saul as our king. Saul takes over. Samuel's dead. One of the other things that the book tells us that Saul did, Saul got rid of all of the
familiar spirits and wizards.
All of the familiar spirits and wizards. So when you think of familiar spirits, it's describing a person that contacts spirits to have a conversation with you.
Like, think of it as like ghosts. Like people on TV be like, ooh, a ghost. Or like, I talk to ghosts.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Like imagine if somebody in your family died, right? So let's say somebody died, somebody that you close to, maybe a friend or a family member, they died, and you miss them, you really miss them. Somebody who worked with familiar spirits might be able to say, okay, come sit down with me. Okay, tell me your cousin's name. Okay, Jonathan, huh? Okay. What did Jonathan like to do? Right? And then he'd be like, oh, well, Jonathan, he loved playing basketball. It was just his favorite thing to do, right? Okay, do you have one of Jonathan's basketballs? And so you give him Jonathan basketball, and he takes it and he starts singing some voodoo. And then rubbing the basketball all of a sudden. And then that boy come to you, and he start looking at you like this.
Oh, nah.
Then he start looking, and he said, hi, TJ, I'm Jonathan. It's really cold where I am now, right? And he's acting like he's Jonathan, or Jonathan, let's say Jonathan is speaking, a spirit that calls itself Jonathan is speaking through this familiar person, this familiar spirit to you, right? And so people it's actually TV shows of people doing this. And people take that and they feel like they get to talk to their loved ones that are no longer here, right? The Most High God calls that's a sin, right? The Most High God calls that a familiar spirit because you playing with spirit. You don't know what you playing with. You playing with spirits, right? And so you end up doing that stuff, and the Most High God was like, no, you're not supposed to do that. So Saul said, anybody who do that, or any wizardry, in other words, anybody who mess with magic
like
and
witches, wizards,
all that stuff is a sin for us, right? We're not supposed to be playing with magic. We're not supposed to be doing no horoscopes. We're not supposed to be doing none of that stuff. All that stuff is a sin, right? So he said, he like everybody who do that, get away, get out of Israel. You do it, because it's against our law. So he upheld the law and he said, everybody out. So there's nobody in the land that's supposed to be practicing familiar spirits, or wizardry. And on top of that, Saul is dead.
I know it looks like, I know on TV they make it seem like it's like,
It's
you know,
cool,
like
it's okay,
a
it's
fairy
just fun.
tale, but that stuff's like real. Like
It's
that
real.
stuff's real.
It's
not-
absolutely real.
Yeah, it's not a fairy tale. Like that's real stuff.
Spirits are real. You don't see them, right? You don't see them, but every day we are interacting with spirits, right? You ever had like a mood changes out of nowhere? You just in a bad mood, out of nowhere, it's just like stuff just bother you out of nowhere. Those are spirits. Like your emotions are spirits, right? And not all of them are bad. Like sometimes good spirits, bad spirits, right? But your emotions are spirits. So constantly you're being influenced by things you can't even see. Oh, we got grab. Where is that? Is that Ephesians?
What?
I'm supposed to know this.
Jude?
Is it Jude?
What you looking?
I'm looking for. We wrestle not with flesh and blood.
Oh, that might be. It's Ephesians or what's the other one? Or Galatians.
I ain't Galatians. I don't think it's Galatians.
I always get Ephesians and Galatians mixed up.
Try
I got to cheat on this.
Ephesians. Hold on, let me try. Let me give it a shot first.
All right.
Give me Ephesians. Let's see. Ephesians 5 walks through the sins, right?
No, that's Galatians 5.
That's Ephesians 5 too, though.
You got that?
Oh, because it's with the gird up with the armor of the. You know what I'm saying? Is that Ephesians?
That's Ephesians 6.
Yeah.
But I think that's where it is though. So yeah, Ephesians 6. Do Ephesians 6. Give me verse like 7. That's too early though. But let me see. Look around 7, see if that's where it is. It's probably further down. 7.
Not for my service. With good will doing service of the Lord and not to men, knowing that whatsoever good thing any man does, the same shall be received of the Lord. All right, so hold on.
What'd you say? 6?
It is
Sister Pamela said 6.
6.
Is it Ephesians? Ephesians 6. Yeah, Ephesians 6. What verse though, Sister Pamela? Sister Pamela, you used to be a Christian. You supposed to know this off the top of their head. You ain't supposed to have me out here. You used to be a good Christian, Sister Pamela. You ain't supposed to have me out here struggling with this one. You know what I'm saying? This is in the Christian handbook now. Come on, help me out. You don't see it yet, Ephesians 6? Maybe it ain't Ephesians 6. It's supposed to be Ephesians 6. I feel like it's early, right?
No, I'm looking at it.
We wrestle not with flesh and blood.
Maybe I'm glossing over that thing. Oh, it's 12. It's 6:12.
All right, this is Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12. Look, Pamela got it right. Sister Pamela got it right after you. Appreciate you, Sister Pamela. So look, it's important that we understand this stuff, right? When we had these mood swings, when we had these, you know what I'm saying, just all of a sudden you get really sad, or maybe you stay sad and you can't. We've been talking about Saul. And you remember the kingdom got ripped from Saul. And what happened as a result of the kingdom getting ripped from him? What did the Most High God give to him? Who remembers? Y'all remember when the Most High God gave him an evil spirit? Yeah, the Most High God gave him an evil spirit, right? And after he had that evil spirit, he used to get mad, right? And then all of a sudden, who would have to come around and play the harp? David would come and play the harp, and it would make him feel better.
Oh, and then he tried to throw the thing.
He'd throw the javelin at him, right? He's doing that because he got an evil spirit. You see that evil spirit, what did it influence in him? His emotions, right? You think about emotions, you think about happy, sad, sorrowful, disgust, jealous, right? All those are emotional things, right? And so you see that him having an evil spirit impacted his emotions. He started to get sad and mad and upset to the point where he'd throw a javelin at the man who's trying to help him out. But if David plays the harp, it makes him feel better, right? So that's how our emotions are. A lot of times when you have these emotions that swing you, these emotions that just come over you and you just in a bad mood or you just not feeling good and all that, a lot of times what's happening is those are spirits that are attacking you, right? And then they're shifting you and you start thinking that these emotions are actually you, but they're not. These are spirits. So this is what Ephesians chapter...
after you get mad and do something, you immediately feel bad. Like, man, I shouldn't have did that.
This is Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12. Watch what the book say.
We'll start at 11.
This is Ephesians chapter 6, verse 11. Watch what the book say.
Put on the whole armor of God.
Look, you got to put on all of the armor of Yah. Right? So you got the whole armor of Yah, right? What is this?
That you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil.
Right? If you put on the whole armor, you got to understand that you'll be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. In other words, think of it like the attacks or the arrows, but the attacks of the devil, right? Keep going.
For we wrestle not against flesh and blood.
So he's letting you know we don't wrestle. We're not fighting against flesh and blood. In other words, we're not fighting against people, right? The reason why he's saying this to you, because I might get mad at Mel and Mel might get mad at me and Mel might argue. This would never happen because Mel is darn perfect, right? It would just never happen. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, like in a crazy world, we might get mad at each other and me and Mel might start arguing and fighting with each other. What he's saying is to you, you think you fighting Mel, but you're not fighting Mel, right? We don't wrestle with people. We don't fight with people in reality, right? In reality, what we fight against?
For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities.
We wrestle with principalities. What is a principality?
Something that influences the rulers of the world.
A principality is the base. Like think of a principality as the exactly what. It's the influencer. It's the starter of everything else.
Without it, it doesn't operate.
Without it, it don't move. Nothing move without the principality, right? So when you think of anything that's a principal, like you have at your school, a principal, what does the principal do?
Like he's the, or
We
he or
got multiple
she.
different principles. It's like we have like 3.
They
principals.
control the school, like they're.
They control the whole school, don't they?
Certain parts of the school, like they
No,
from. I don't go to the same school as you. Like one's an 8th grade, like principal in 8th grade, one's principal.
Are you talking about counselors or principals?
Principals? Like one's principal at junior high, one's principal kindergarten.
Our school's such a mess. Who's on all them darn leaders?
Yeah, you have a school that's K through 12.
No, K through 8.
Oh, K through 8. So you got principals over the different. So usually these would be multiple schools. So you have principals over the different sections of school.
Makes sense.
So you have a principal that's saying, I own what, all the elementary? You got one principal, all the elementary, or are they split up elementary?
Yeah, they split up elementary.
K through 5 or K through 3 or what?
K through 5, and then 6 and up is Mr. Cook.
So it's two principals.
It's 3.
So what's the third one do? So you probably got a chief principal, right? That's over the whole shebang.
Yeah.
And then 2 sub principal. I don't know, but I'm assuming that's what it is. You probably got there's stuff with the assistant principals. You could have mentioned that in the first place. So you got 2 assistant principals, and they say you assistant principal, you run the elementary and you run the high or the middle school, right? Then you got the chief principal, the actual principal. He run the whole shebang. Now this principal can't actually be everywhere at once, but this principal, by his words, controls the direction of the entire school, right? He'll say, listen, next year, we need to make sure that we end school from home. No more school from home. Let's bring everybody back in the classroom, right? Based off of him making that decision, then the whole school is going to say, hey, we need everybody back in the classroom. If he say, hey, we want winter break to start a day earlier this year, then guess what? The whole school is going to send out a calendar and say, hey, winter break is starting a day earlier this year. That ain't never going to happen. You know what I'm saying? But wishful thinking, right? But that's what happens. The principal is the one that influences. So by what he says, all the people are going to start doing things according to what the principal says. So when it's talking about principalities, it's talking about spirits that influence all of the world, right? Spirits that are like the bosses of this world, the rulers, the principals of this world, right? And you got assistant principals underneath them. And underneath the assistant principals, you got counselors. And underneath the counselors, you also got teachers, or side by side with the counselors, you got teachers, right? And underneath you got kids. So think of us like the kids, the students, right? We go to these schools and we get influence. That's what these spirits are doing, right? These spirits are influencing us. It's for us to disconnect from those systems.
So if you think like most of the world, right, most of the world is very uncomfortable with like same-sex marriage and homosexuality and people being gay. But if you look on TV, it wouldn't seem that way. It would seem like it's more normal, or everybody making it seem like it's a thing, when really it's only a small percentage of people that actually live their life that way.
How many people would you say, like, out of the whole world, you know what I'm saying, would you say, like, people that's, like, openly gay, like people who say they're gay, out and gay, would you say it's, like, half of the people in the world? Would you say it's, like 25%, 10 to 15%? How many TV shows, do you say 10, 15%? What about you?
10%.
10%? How many TV shows do you see that do not have a gay person?
WandaVision.
A few, a lot.
A lot do not have a gay person? What's one?
TV shows like
Yeah, just a TV show. There's no gay people in it.
Girl Meets World, or like anything.
What's Girl Meets World?
Ain't girls be, yeah, ain't you like,
That sound gay.
yeah, you like, yeah.
What is Girl?
No.
What is Girls Meets World?
It's a
Ain't
show
that-
on
Boy Meets World.
Topanga?
No, that's Boy Meets World.
Exactly.
No,
but
like,
she
it's
had
like a
kids.
feature now. She had
Yeah,
kids.
she had kids.
Topanga got a show?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm missing out now. They better not make Topanga gay now.
I think
What?
so, bro. I
No,
think-
listen, it's called Girl Meets World. Topanga has a daughter with Corey.
Yeah, she not gay though. No, they can't make her gay. So that's one show. What else?
Like, there's so many other shows in the world. I just can't think. Like, cartoons,
Prince.
What about movies?
movies.
Toy Story.
Toy Story, Buzz Lightyear, the girl was gay.
For real?
Huh?
The
Not
Buzz
Lightyear.
The Buzz Lightyear movie.
Yeah, the black.
Not
girl.
Toy Story, but the Buzz Lightyear.
Man,
movie.
somebody gay in Buzz Lightyear?
Yeah, but yeah.
Jeez Louise.
What was the movie? Black Panther?
Yeah, at
Oh,
the end.
no, that was gay on that.
At the end, the girl was gay.
The first one?
No.
Okay.
The second one?
Yeah.
The sister?
No, at the very end. You know, so you had to watch the very end to see.
It wasn't even the end. The second one, right? We talking about the second one? Yeah, no, it wasn't even the end. It's the
Oh, Psych. I know what
yeah,
you're talking about.
it wasn't even the end. Oh, you ain't seen it?
I ain't see it yet.
Oh, that movie's good. Anyways.
No, please. Don't get me started on that darn movie. I'm trying to figure out how they let. Don't get me started on that darn movie. No, cause then you got my man M'Baku. Right, my bad. I just got, you know what I'm saying? But you got my man M'Baku.
No, come here.
My man M'Baku.
Uncle, you can't spoil it.
He was one of the hardest.
Uncle.
It deserved to be spoiled. He was one of the hardest ones in the first movie.
Years, man.
He walk up and a Mexican just punch him in the chest one time. And the man, he was scared the rest of the movie. He don't want no fight no rest of the movie. You got M'Baku talking about this like, yeah, no, he right though. You know what I'm saying? Do we really want to go to war with SA?
Scooby-Doo.
See, you naming all the kids shows. But you're right. It's some kid shows that won't have a lot of gay people in it, right?
Yeah.
You get to these adult shows, and every show represents a gay person. And so you have to ask yourself, why is it if we go into real life, every time we run into somebody, we don't run into somebody gay, right? Right? It's not, when you look at it, it's like, it's probably about 10% of people that's out and gay, right? 15% of people that's out and gay, and that's probably too high. That's probably not even that many. I don't know, but it's probably not even that many. But when you look at it on TV and in the media, it's almost every show that you look at, adult shows at least. And they trying to creep it in little by little into the kid shows as well. Like y'all can probably think of a lot of kid shows where they do have something that's a little funny bunny. Even if they're not openly out, you have like a little kid that kind of dress is a girl who dressed like a boy, or vice versa.
Proud Family
What's the
show. You know what I'm
reason?
saying? They had the dude acting like a chick. I was like, oh, I can't help but enjoy my Jello.
Yeah.
I like Proud
Like,
Family.
why
When they did that, I was like, oh,
boys
come on.
want to be girls? Like, we strong, we athletic.
Well, it's a lot of reasons behind people. Like people don't have structure and principles in education, right? So naturally, when you do that, that breeds confusion. So it ain't really the kid's fault. Like as a kid, you might grow up and put on your mom's shoes, and you're not trying to be gay. You just put on your mom's shoes because your mom's shoes is there, and you like how your mom look in her shoes.
You think it's fun?
And you think it's fun, and you walk in and it's like, that's interesting. My mom's shoes are heels and they lift it up, and you a boy, you step into them and you might walk in them. In your mind, you're not trying to be gay. You're not trying to do nothing wrong. You're exploring something. So what happens is when nobody corrects that, nobody looks at it and say, hey, you know, the way that we have structured our society in my house, right? Men or boys do not wear those shoes, right? That's the rule set of my house. You put that structure in there, then the kid starts to understand those things. So the only thing that's happening now with gay people is they've removed that structure and they've allowed their kid to explore what you want, be whoever you want to be. But they have now, with that mindset, they lose sight of the natural structure of life. So they believe that, hey, I should be whatever I want to be. And it comes with a lot of complications and confusion because in reality, you're not a girl, you're a boy. So that's why you're going to start seeing, especially at your age, you're going to start seeing a lot of these children that are dealing with this, right? You're going to see that they're extremely depressed. Extremely depressed. You're going to see that they're very sad about so many things and they have a hard time dealing with stuff. And they're going to start, you're going to see, unfortunately, you're going to see a lot of them wanting to kill themselves and a lot of that. Y'all going to deal with that because the more that they do that to kids and that they don't give them the structure, it leaves the kid to try to figure this stuff out and nothing makes sense to them. So they have all of these expectations of, hey, I can get attention from dressing like this or doing like this. And people will love me if and accept me if I dress like this and do this. But guess what? There's going to be a whole other group of people that never love you and accept you because naturally it's offensive to us, right? To a human being, you know, being gay is offensive naturally, right? So you have to harden your mind to what's naturally offensive to people or try to convince them that it shouldn't be offensive to people. And that's why you have all these TV shows, because you have principalities that are trying to convince everybody, do not be offended by this. It's okay. It's normal. It's natural, right? And they're doing it. A lot of them are doing it because they want it to be easier for the people who's trying to explore, right? I see this person who wants to be gay. It's very hard for him because the world doesn't accept him as gay. They make fun of him. They bully him and this, that, and the other. So I want to try to make it easier for him by blasting it all over TV. And I'm going to make everybody think being gay is just as normal as not being gay, right? Then they expanded past being gay to LGBTQPR, LDB, you know what I'm saying, APR. You know what I'm talking about? It's like, what in the world are we talking about now? Now you got, let me tell you how confused these people is. Now you got a boy that was born a boy. He dressed like a girl, right? But he only likes girls, right? So what they would call this person is a trans lesbian. But in reality, this is just a boy that likes girls, right? But he dresses like a girl, so now he's a lesbian, right? It's you look at it, it's confusion. Listen, yeah, look, they got some called pansexuals. Pansexuals.
I thought you said him.
Me too. I'm like, what?
Pansexuals. I think
Isn't it like where you like both genders?
you just
Or you just like anyone based on
you just like anything is what a pansexual is. I might be getting this wrong. I'm not an expert in all of them now. But you just like anything, a pansexual.
Alright.
Back in the day, they would call that bisexual, but they got these little things and they separate all of them like, oh, well, you're technically not bisexual because you don't just like both. You just don't care. You know what I'm saying? And then this one is this one. And so you got all of these. That's why the letters are so long. It's LGBT, QPRE, LGBTD. You know what I'm saying? You got all these darn letters for it. To the fact they just got tired of saying this, LGBT plus. You know what I'm saying? They just put a plus at the end of it, just like forget it. You know what I'm saying? To everybody else. You know what I'm saying? But now that everybody else is offended, like why we can't get our letter said? So now they fight against each other. Now you got the gay people, right? They be looking like we don't mess with the trans people. Why? Because if you mess, y'all got any trans people at y'all school? Right? You mess with the trans people. What happened? You ever seen a trans boy? No?
Trans
It
boy.
was a trans girl at my school.
What does that mean, a trans girl?
Isn't it like where they go from a boy to a girl, right?
So it's a boy being a girl.
Yeah.
Okay. So you see a boy being a girl, how he act?
Like a girl.
Extra though, or just like a regular girl?
Normal.
Normal. A lot of the trans boys be extra, right? They be da. So what happens is The girls don't like it because it's like a character. A lot of times when you see
Like blackface, but with girls.
it's if you see a lot of trans the boys that transition to be girls, right? If you see a lot of them, especially in media, they are, when I say character, that means that they act like black women, like extreme versions of black women, right? So what happens is, what you see, even the white ones, right? They act like extreme versions of black women. So what happens is women are starting to be offended because you have like, when, what was that dude that came, that turned into a girl?
Bruce Jenner did?
Bruce Jenner. He ended up winning Woman of the Year, right? And it's the man, and he wins Woman of the Year. And then there was another one recently.
You're so dumb. Did you just say for what?
For what? Why did he win it? That's a perfectly good question. There's no reason. It just.
No, he said like Woman of the Year for what? Like, as in, like, what did he do to become? Like,
No, that's a valid question. He didn't. Who knows what he did to become Woman of the Year, right? Because not every woman gets. You can have women that don't get Women of the Year, right? So that means this woman did something more than this woman to earn it, right?
A dude won the beauty pageant, even for the women.
I think that's the one I'm thinking about. Yeah. So then you got. So you had these men that are fighting in the UFC and beating up women. You have men that want to play sports like basketball and football against women. And so it's like, hold on, this is not fair. And so men or women are winning women prizes, right? So now the women got to look at this and be like, no, we done. So now you have this infighting against trans and gay and straight and all this stuff. And guess what they tell us?
That's like Zion going to the WNBA.
Guess what? That's exactly what it is. Guess what they tell us, though? They say religion creates division.
what is that?
I never heard that.
Me, exactly. Like,
That's what they say.
Y'all too young to like, no.
They say religion creates division, right? A lot of people will say religion, and y'all gonna hear it, right? Y'all gonna hear it as y'all get older. They gonna tell you when you start talking to people about religion, like, oh, you know, I believe in this, that, and the other. They gonna say, no, I don't believe that. I think the white man, like, you know what I'm saying, you mess around with a lot of black people, then be like, I think the white man created
that's
the Bible.
what Papa Kenny be saying.
He be saying the white man created the Bible. Why the white man created the Bible?
To trick us black folk. That's what he was saying.
They got it.
In reality, they got it from us, but we, because of the principalities that we fight against, we ain't fighting against flesh and blood. Like, I'm not fighting against your pawpaw, right? Your pawpaw has been fighting with spiritual stuff. I have too. So these spirits have convinced us that this book was written by white people and given to us to trick us and to turn us into slaves. What they don't know, and what we've never been told, is that before there was a thought of a slave in America, this book had been around for about 3,000 years. Most of this book has been around for about 3,000 years. Before there was any America in existence, anything called an America, this book had already been around for about 3,000 years, part of it, most of it, right? So then it changes your perspective. It's like, well, that's impossible that these white people wrote it. So what white people wrote it? And you mean to tell me white people wrote this over 3,000 years ago in expectation, like, in 3,000 years, you might be able to use it for slavery. That don't even it don't even make common sense. But when we don't know the book and we don't know our history, it could make sense to us. Somebody could lie to us. So that's what we fight against. We fight against the gay stuff on TV and people telling us lies about our bodies and how we can live and all this. We fight against, right now, what you do, you look outside, what you see? Right now, go ahead and look. Tell me what you see. Tell me what you see. Just tell me what you see. Just start calling out what you see. Tell me. Trees.
Lights,
Oh, what lights?
Christmas lights.
Uh-oh. Why? Why do we see Christmas lights? What's out there?
What do you mean what's out there?
Why do we see Christmas lights? What are those?
They're Christmas lights.
What do they represent, though?
Christmas.
God's birthday.
What does that mean? God, Jesus' birthday?
birthday.
Jesus Christ's birthday? When's his birthday?
I don't know. Oh.
They say it's the 25th.
December 25th.
Oh.
Why they say that, though?
It was the 30th.
Do they get that from our book?
No. They made it up.
Who made it up? We don't even know who made it up, huh? We don't know this stuff. So because we don't know, it don't mean nothing to us. It's just like, oh, that's a tradition. Let's just go along with it. So we end up celebrating Christmas and standing in front of Christmas trees and opening up presents and decorating the Christmas trees and all this stuff. You got a big old white dude
sneaking into your house at night, going through the chimney and stuff, like
going through your darn chimney. Look at they condition yourself from.
drinking my
Your
milk,
kids
like,
crying.
But guess-
Kids crying in every picture on the home.
You got a white fat man sliding through your chimney, stealing darn cookies from your table, and you gonna tell me some white man created this to put us in slavery? That sounds like slavery to darn me.
And they don't want to get in gift.
exactly.
Ah, shoot, darn Santa coming down my darn chimney. What if you don't get your butt off my house? What's wrong with you? I bet you let a black man slide down the chimney. What do you think these white folks gonna say?
They either caught a cops on them or shot to kill them.
You let that stuff happen on TV. You see white Santa slide down the chimney. He come out and on TV, what they show you? The little kid run out there, cookies and milk, Santa. His fat butt. You know he ain't gonna turn it down. He look,
He got all the kids in the world.
cookies and milk. You know what I'm saying? He probably a nasty pedophile too. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? He look at him and be like, oh well, thank you. You know what I'm saying? He drink it, and you better be nice. Yeah, and climb back out. And then he scooted. They never show him scooting back out the chimney. He's sitting there, his fat butt. You know what I'm saying? You know his fat butt don't fit. I don't know why they came up with this foolish darn story. Can't believe I ever believed that mess. Fat butt can't fit down. You ever look up a chimney? Like it look big, but that thing really just be about this big. That thing ain't that big. You know his fat butt ain't never come down that thing. A cheek won't even fit down it. I don't know what's wrong with these people telling these darn lies. All they do is lie to us. In our natural mind, we look at this stuff like, you know that don't make no darn sense. But we turn that stuff off and we go, oh, well, let's just leave some cookies out for Santa. And your fat daddy was eating them.
People be staying up.
Fat daddy ran out there. No, see, they'll think lying to you. Y'all parents lied to you. Right?
Mama ain't never go that far.
Right? Y'all parents lied to you. He telling you about a tooth fairy and tell you about, you know what I'm saying, tell you about Santa Claus and tell you about Easter bunnies and all that stuff. All that stuff is fake.
For real.
Right? All that stuff is fake. All that stuff is a lie. Right? We gotta make sure that we understand the stuff that we do. Right? These Christmas lights, that all comes from traditions, old tradition. It ain't got nothing to do with Jesus, ain't got nothing to do with none of that stuff. Right? They used to worship a sun god on December 25th. Right? With the winter solstice.
Saturnalia.
Right? That's what they used to worship. You ever seen the star at the top of the tree? That star represents a sun. Right? That thing, it represents the brightness of the sun. That's why it looked like that. Right? And they put it on top of the tree because that was the worship of the sun. Right? And people will tell you like, oh, well, no, we don't care nothing about, where it come from now. It's just a day for us to have family together and enjoy each other and just have fun. It ain't like I'm worshiping nothing. Ain't nobody bowing down to no false god or nothing. You can guess what they do?
Bound to the tree to get the gift.
Every single day, every year. Every year, most I gotta make a fool out of everybody. Everybody decorate that tree. You gotta get that bulb and put it all the way at the bottom. Guess what you're gonna do? Oh, let me just get down there. Bow to it, just like that. You put that bulb down there, you bow to it. You gotta put your gifts under there, bow to it. You gotta take the gifts out, bow to it. You just bow to it every time. Right? And if you're a good Christian, you don't put no star at the top of your tree. Sister Pamela, what we put at the top of our tree when we're a good Christian?
Angel.
Oh, you gotta have that angel
You know what
up
she got
there.
on top of her tree?
What she got?
Black Santa Claus.
I don't even know what to say about that one. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what to say about that. She thought she was switching the game up there. She said, for the people. You know what I'm saying?
That's exactly what she said.
Nah.
It's for the culture.
Almost all the rappers talk about, we ain't had no Christmas.
Yeah, we good, man. We don't, but we look at these things and all of this stuff influences us to go follow and do something that's contrary to God. Watch this. Hold we got. We're going to come back here to the principalities. Go real quick. Just, this is a yearly tradition for us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's Jeremiah chapter. Is it Jeremiah what I want? Chapter 10? Yeah. It's Jeremiah chapter 10. Give me verse 2. What does the book say? I just want y'all to tell me what we're reading about. I ain't going to say nothing.
Thus says the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven.
They say your mic cut out.
Oh, yeah. Thing did. You gave me some.
Get you some duds out here in these streets, huh? Here, try these. Sister Pamela said they had big bowls. Y'all had big bowls on the top of the tree?
A bowl? Like a.
Let me see what she said. You see bowls?
Bowls?
Can I get some water real quick?
Mm-hmm.
Give me some too.
Bring me some too.
Oh my.
Oh wait, I'm gonna cook myself.
Y'all had big bowls. Sister Pamela, y'all had big bowls on the top of the tree? Like a bow, I think. She said a bow.
Oh, bow. I thought you said a
You seen a
bowl.
bow? I ain't never seen a bow on the top of the tree.
I
I've
don't
seen a
know.
bow.
Maybe on
TCO,
TV.
then
She to put a bow on the top of it?
yeah, different colors for different years.
Oh, y'all be trying to switch it up.
No, my dad and them used to do the angel.
Yeah, I hadn't seen the darn angel.
I seen the star too. The angel and the star, I seen both of those.
Seen the angel. As soon as you put the angel on there, you in error. You know what I'm saying? As soon as you put the star, you put the angel, that's in error. You might be able to make a case with the black sand. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Back then it's a little tricky. The bow, you might get away with something with the bow now. The bow, I ain't never heard of the bow. That thing's a tricky one. Let me see, what'd she say? Yes, in the angel place at the top. Oh yeah, yeah. See, yeah, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It was some real good Christian. You put a bow at the top. They looking like, nah, you can't get me now.
My dad and them always had that big white one. They ain't
Big
do
white
the green
angel?
yet. No, the white tree. They always had that white tree. My dad and them did the white tree. They was different.
Oh no, my dad, that boy used to go get the real tree. You know what I'm saying? Go buy that thing from like Costco or something. I don't know where he got it from. He'd get that thing, put it, I remember he'd strap it on top of his van, his truck, whatever it was. He'd strap it on top, bring that thing home. That thing would smell all good. He'd set that thing up. Then you got to go in there and you twist that thing, tighten it up, you know what I'm saying? Make sure it's sturdy. Put a little water inside the thing. Then you have to decorate that big old thing. I was like, oh.
I ain't gonna lie, I used to like putting them bulbs on, bro.
Oh man, I'm looking like I used to be like, just get me to the present. And let me tell you how evil my dad was. And I don't mean that evil for real, but let me tell you how my dad was. My dad, we'd wake up early. I already wake up early. You know what I'm saying? But in the excitement, you just know, I know I'm gonna get that remote control car. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we wake up early, and my dad'd be like, what y'all up so, you know what I'm saying? Everybody else still asleep. You know what I'm saying? We just, you know what I'm saying, just wait a little longer. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna get cracked. It would be the longest morning. It's like any normal morning, we get up and we just start moving. You know what I'm saying? Everybody up, we moving around 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. On Christmas morning, ain't nothing happening until like 12. It's like he purposely, we eat breakfast late. We do everything just late and we gotta wait. And he take his time with everything. Then all of a sudden, okay, let's go open gifts. I used to be like, man, goodness gracious. But you see how they manipulate your darn mind to all this weird stuff. Got you spending a lot of people spending all this extra money.
Bro, my pops,
trying to go. Let me tell you something.
My pops go bankrupt for the Christmas. And he'll tell you too.
I didn't save so much money based off of not celebrating Christmas. You know what I'm talking about? That thing, like I love telling people I don't celebrate. What you doing Christmas shopping? Excuse me? You know what I'm saying? Excuse me? What you talking about? No, we good. I ain't gonna do no darn Christmas shopping. You know what I'm saying? My son, you know what I'm saying? I indoctrinate my kid and I don't feel bad about it. I indoctrinate my darn kids. You know what I'm saying? I tell my kids straight up, we don't celebrate no darn Christmas. That thing, you know what I'm saying? So if y'all want to talk about white people gave us something, that's what white people gave us, literally. You know what I'm saying? Like literally, that's what white people gave us. You know what I'm saying? Back in Rome, that's what they gave us. You know what I'm saying? That thing don't come from us. They made that stuff up. And then they put that stuff, they lied on our God and put it on them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That thing come from a totally different God. And because they want to keep their tradition and our God started to take over, they lied on him and be like, nah, that's him too. Like, nah, they ain't none of his tradition. You don't mess with none of that stuff y'all doing.
Definitely lied on my God.
Yeah, they lied on our God to try to put it on them. All right? But yeah, that's, you know what I'm saying? It's important that we kind of know how this stuff works. Let's read this. Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 2.
Thus says Yahuwah.
Like, thus says Yahuwah. Watch this. I just want y'all to tell me what we talking about.
Learn not the way of the heathen.
He said, learn not the way of the heathen. Think of a heathen as saying the outsider, the people,
other people.
Yeah, the people that's not like us, the people that's not of God, right? Don't learn the way of the heathen. Don't act like these other people. Watch this.
And be not dismayed at the signs of heaven.
And don't be dismayed at the signs of heaven. What does that mean?
Like
TJ, what does that mean? Don't be dismayed at the signs of heaven.
Don't follow other people. Like, don't be fooled.
What do you think that means? Don't be dismayed at the signs of heaven.
Heaven means sky.
Don't be like surprised or something. Like
I said,
don't be shocked.
Don't be shocked. Very good. Don't be shocked at what's going on in the sky. So remember I told y'all about the winter solstice?
No.
So December 25th, right? There's something called the winter solstice. This is a time of year where it's like stars and light and the sun and all this stuff. I don't know all the science of it, but it aligns, right? It aligns in a way, things align in a way where like the day and the night are like perfectly equal and all that. Like, you know how we have daylight savings time? Yeah. We do that because at different times of the year, the it's light longer, and different times of the year it's dark longer. So at the times of the year where it's dark longer, we have daylight saving time because we try to save time for the daylight. So we extend it. We move the hour back or front or whatever when it is daylight saving time versus when it's not daylight saving time. And we do that because certain points of the year, there's more light for longer periods of the day, and certain points of the year is more dark for longer periods of the day. So when it's more dark, we try to move the time back so that we'll have more light. Daylight savings, right? Well, the winter solstice, the light in the day equals out where it's exactly the same day and night for that point of the year, right? You can see that for people who know what they're doing. They can look in the skies and they can see that. They can see, okay, the sun is right here and those stars are right here. And they look at it and it's like, oh, this is a special time of year when they look into the sky. Oh, this is special, right? So the Most High God is saying, don't be dismayed. Don't look in the sky and be like shocked about all that, right? Yeah, there's some special stuff happening. But he's saying, don't be shocked about it. And don't act like these outsiders. Don't act like the heathen. He's telling you, don't learn their stuff. Watch this.
For the customs of the people are vain.
What are customs?
like, not rules, but like,
Special. Customs?
Mm-hmm.
Like certain things?
They're like traditions, right? Right. So if you like, let's say every year on your birthday, you go to your favorite ice cream shop, and you've been doing that since you were 3 years old, right? Your parents always take you to your favorite ice cream shop. Every year, that is a custom for you, right? That's a custom that you do every year. It's a tradition, right? So he said, what about the customs?
For the customs of the people are vain.
He said the customs of the people, the traditions of these people are vain. What does vain mean?
Not good.
Empty. Meaningless, right? Meaningless. It's not good, right? Not good too, but it's meaningless. It's empty. It doesn't mean anything. So he's saying, listen, don't you be like these heathens. And when you look up into the sky, don't be all shocked and in awe about that crazy stuff that's happening up there, right? And don't follow these people customs because they don't have no meaning. These people just do stuff. They don't have no meaning. So if I stop y'all and I ask y'all, what is Christmas about? You say Jesus' birthday. Is it Jesus' birthday? What is Jesus' birthday? I don't know. They say it's December 25th. Is that a birthday? No. Do we see it in the book? No. So what's the meaning of Christmas then? It's meaningless. So that's why when you talk to people, if you challenge people, like if y'all go back and y'all say,
Companies want your money.
if y'all go back and y'all say, I don't celebrate Christmas no more. And let's say next year, right? They do the, so y'all have the pajama party and stuff. So let's say next year they do the pajama party and Mel like, I don't want to do that no more. I'm good. I don't do it. You know what they're going to tell you? They be like, why not? Because now that was a custom and you messing up the tradition because you part of the family.
nobody puts it together.
So it's like, why would you not go? You messing up the tradition. And you're like, no, I don't believe in that stuff. That stuff is foolish. It's crazy. It don't make no sense. Everybody going to look at you. It don't matter. It ain't, listen, it ain't about Christmas. It's about family coming together and spending time with each other, this, that, and the other. So as soon as they say that, you know what they saying? Christmas is meaningless. It's not about Christmas. It's about family coming. That's the part that has meaning for them. is the family part. The tradition itself is then meaningless, right? It's empty. It's vain.
Like, well, how about we set aside a day where family come together, like on January 10th or something?
And that's where you'll find your problem. People ain't gonna want to do it.
What about January 25th? January 15th?
Just come up with any old day, any old random day.
3rd.
Let's have all the family do this. Matter of fact, there's days in the Bible where everybody can come together. Let's see if they do it. Ain't nobody gonna do it because we're tied to vain traditions. We've learned vain traditions, and the principalities have now influenced us to do these things. These spirits are influencing us to do these things. So now we feel pressure, like, oh, I don't want to disappoint anybody, right? I don't want to, huh? Oh yeah, no, they going crazy in there. Anyone else lost visual? Oh, they said we lost video. Hopefully it's back. But you know what I'm saying? You'll see that everybody, you know what I'm saying, you be nervous, like, oh, okay, well, I mean, I don't want to celebrate Christmas no more. I don't want to do Easter anymore, but the Easter egg hunt is something that my family always do. You know what I'm saying? Like, you might be married, right? You got a wife. It's like, my wife love Easter. That's her favorite one of the year, right? But it's like, man, I serve God. I don't want to do this stuff no more. Now you got to have this conversation with your wife. Your wife gonna be mad, like, no, this is my tradition. I like doing that. I pink the best Easter eggs or whatever, right? And it's like, but what does it mean? What is the Easter egg? Like, why would a bunny lay an egg? That don't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, it don't even work like that. It ain't even good science, right? So you looking at it like, why do we do this? It's meaningless, right? It don't have no meaning. It's meaningless. It's empty. But you got to have that conversation with your wife, right? And that causes the division. That causes a fight, right? And they'll tell you that religion causes the division. No. The lie causes the division. The meaningless tradition causes the division, right? So he said, stay away from they customs because they empty. What else we got? Watch this. Y'all just tell me what we describing. I just want y'all to know.
For one cuts a tree out of the forest.
One does what?
Cuts a tree out of the forest.
One goes into the forest and he go like this. Until that thing started falling. It started to fall. He grab it. Oh, okay. So he cuts a tree out of the forest. Then what did he do with that tree?
The work of the hands of the workmen with the axe.
Uh-huh.
They deck it with silver and gold.
They do what?
Deck it with silver and gold.
What in the world could the Bible be talking about?
Deck the halls with balls of whatever. What is it?
Fa la 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 la.
I hate Christmas songs, bro.
La 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 la. Then they start hitting you with the remix. Fa la 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 la. Fa la 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 la.
Trap beats on that thing.
Fa la la la. Look it. Fa la 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 la. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me started. I get them. You know what I'm talking about? But that's what they do. They deck it with silver and gold. You got the silver bowl,
the streamers,
and the gold. And you put all the streamers on in the gold. You look at the best tree. These trees be all wild now. People be doing whatever they want to do.
Crazy.
But you go to the traditional trees, it's silver bulbs and gold bulbs. Now they've got red and green. They got all types of rainbow bulbs. It's just to show I'm LGBT. You know what I'm saying? All this crazy stuff, right?
My pops had the silver ones on deck.
Yeah, now you gotta have the silver and the gold ones. You got your big old gold star. That's a proper heathen tree. Right? Let's look at it. What else we got?
And they fasten it with nails with the hammers that it move not.
They do what with it?
Fasten it with nails.
Y'all see, y'all don't even know. Y'all nowadays nobody has real trees, right? Everybody got the fake trees nowadays. So y'all don't even know about fastening. Back in the day, when you got the real tree and you stand it up, you would have like this big, it looked like a bucket. You know what I'm saying? Like a big old bucket, but it's like a
little red bucket.
Yeah, it's like a red bucket. You know what I'm saying? That covered the bottom of the tree. Mm-hmm. And you would put it inside of it. And the bucket got little screws that go. And you would screw it into the trunk of the tree and screw it. Mm-hmm. And you screw it on each side and it presses into the tree. And you screw it so tight that the tree stands up. You know what I'm saying? But this is a real tree. It's heavy. It's a real tree. It's dropping this little pines all over the ground.
Like the Christmas tree sales, like in like certain, you know where the carnivals, you know where the carnivals be at? Mm-hmm. They usually sell the trees out of there.
Next time you go to your friend's house, you got a real tree, just look underneath it. Just look behind all the gifts.
It's a green thing.
Little green thing, yeah. Sometimes red, sometimes green.
Yeah,
water, they put the water in there, and then you're gonna see the little nails on the side and all that. They screw it in there, and you go like that, and you screw it in there tight, and they hold the tree up. Look at that. Guess when this was written?
Thousands. This was like, what was Jeremiah like?
It's like 3,000 years ago.
Yeah, Jeremiah is probably like 700 BC or something like that, maybe more.
Come back.
Right? This is like 3,000 years ago. Over 3,000 years ago, this was talking about. Guess when they say the first Christmas was celebrated?
I don't know.
They say the first Christmas was celebrated about 1,500 years ago.
Whoa. Whoa.
What's larger, 3,000 or 1,500?
Wait.
3,000? 1,500 is
Yeah, I'm
1,000.
tripping. Yeah. I'm tripping.
So 3,000, right? 3,000 is twice as long as 1,500, right? So you only start celebrating this very recently. This was written first. But guess what they're going to tell you? Even though the Bible is telling you don't do this. Right here, the Bible is saying do not do this foolishness, right? In the Bible, it's telling you don't do it. Guess who they celebrating when they celebrate their Christmas? They think they celebrate. They say they celebrate Jesus. But the Bible that we learned about Jesus from tell you not to do it. Do that make sense? You know what they go, and you know, look, a good Pamela, you gotta keep me honest here. Tell me what a good Christian gonna say. A good Christian gonna say, boy, that ain't talking about no Christmas tree. You know what they gonna say? They gonna try to turn it around. That was before there even was a Christmas. Yeah. That was before there even was a Christmas. That ain't talking about no Christmas tree, right? That's because they too darn silly to realize that's the point. Your vain tradition of Christmas ain't really about Christmas. It's about the same thing that the Most High God was talking about here. This is a tradition. They was keeping it before they called it Christmas.
Same thing, just a different name.
They just slapped Christmas on it just to make y'all happy. They slapped Christmas on it just to make you think it was about your God, and it's not. Ain't got nothing to do with your God, right? But that's how traditions work when they meaningless. All right, let's go back real quick, and we detoured a lot. This is Ephesians chapter 6.
I told him to stop doing that. You're gonna pop. You know what's
Right, this is Ephesians chapter 6,
11.
verse 11.
Put on the whole armor of God that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore, take unto you the whole armor of God that you may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all, to stand.
All right. So you notice he says spiritual wickedness in high places. That's what's influencing us. Those are the spirits. Those influence our emotions. That's why we have these mood swings. That's why we have these things that we feel like we just can't control. That's why we feel like we got to just say something disrespectful to people when they make us mad. That's why we feel these are spirits that are attacking us, right? And some of us are more vulnerable to those attacks, and some of us are less vulnerable to those attacks. So that's why not everybody behaves the same, because we all respond to the attacks differently. But we have to understand that these emotions are not us. These emotions are spirits. That's why it's important to always try to understand your emotions, accept your emotions, but do not feel like your emotions are you, right? Your emotions are simply temptations. It's something in you that's saying, hey, you should do that. And you can always say, no, I'm not going to do that, right? You should cry right now. You could always say, no, I'm not. You should be very, very happy about this. No, I'm not going to be happy about this. You should be very sad about this. I'm not going to be sad about this, right? Anchor yourself to reality. Anchor yourself to facts. Anchor yourself to what's really happening, and you'll miss a lot of the BS. You'll miss a lot of stuff that'll slow you down, right? It's important to do that. It's important to make sure that you live in your life according to the word of the book, and you base your principles not based off of the principalities, not based off of the spirits, but base your principles based off of the book. And when you do that, then you basing your principles based off of the spirit of God. And if you got it by the spirit of God, you're going to have peace. You know what I'm saying? In the end, you're going to have peace. All right. And that's what we here for. Let's go back. This is 1 Samuel chapter what? 1 Samuel chapter 27?
28.
28?
Verse 3.
This is 1 Samuel chapter 28, verse 3.
Now Samuel was dead, and all of Israel had lamented him and buried him in Ramah. even in his own city. And Saul had put away those that had familiar spirits and wizards out of the land. And the Philistines gathered themselves together and came and pitched in Shunem. And Saul gathered all Israel together, and they pitched in Gilboa. And when Saul saw the host of the Philistines, he was afraid, and his heart greatly trembled.
Right. So when Saul saw the host of the Philistines, he was afraid, and his heart greatly trembled. He was nervous. His heart was beating. Right. Watch this.
And when Saul inquired of Yahuwah, Yahuwah answered him not.
Right. So Saul probably had one of the priests with him. He was like, yo, talk to Yahuwah for me. Just see what he said. Right. Just see what he said. Because remember, not all the priests died. Right. It was just the priest that was on duty at the time. Right. It was a bunch of priests that died, but not all of them died.
Ithamar escaped.
Huh?
I know Ithamar escaped.
All right. So he's looking at it. He's looking like, you know what I'm saying? Yo, just talk to, you know what I'm saying? Talk to Yah for me. See what he want to say. But what happened?
And Yahuwah answered him not.
But no answer came to him. Watch this.
Neither by dreams, nor by Urim, nor by the prophets.
Right. So 3 ways. He said he didn't speak to him directly by a dream. In other words, he didn't treat him as a prophet, nor by the Urim. Remember, the Urim and the Thummim is what the priest has. Right. So that's how you know he had a priest with him. And the last thing is nor by the prophet. So he didn't send the prophet to tell him a vision or a dream.
Right. So you asked the prophet, like, God ain't say that? Nah, bro. I ain't heard from him.
Nah, man. It's been dry. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. I ain't got nothing. I'll let you know when I get something. All right. Keep going. Watch this.
Then Saul said unto his servants, seek me a woman that has a familiar spirit, that I may go to her.
Right. Now, this is interesting because we read earlier that he got rid of all those who had familiar spirits. Right. So he said, find me somebody, find me a woman in particular that got familiar spirits so I can talk to somebody, because he's looking for guidance. Right. So let's see. Keep going.
And inquire of her. And the servant said unto him, behold, there is a woman that has a familiar spirit at Endor. And Saul disguised himself and put on other clothes.
Right. So Saul, after that point, he disguised himself. He put on cloaks. In other words, he put on, like, you know what I'm saying, this big old coat.
Other raiment. He put
on like
other raiment.
He put on other clothes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So he disguised himself. You know what I'm saying? He dressed up as somebody other than himself. Right. Then he goes to talk. And what he wants to do is he want to talk to this woman with familiar spirits. Now, remember, it's not like today where you got TVs and pictures on social media and all that. So we know how everybody look nowadays. Right. You can't find no famous person. You couldn't imagine, like, you know what Joe Biden looked like, right? You know what Joe Biden looked like, right? Everybody know, you know what Obama looked like. You know what Donald Trump looked like. You know, all the rulers of our nation during our time, we know what they look like. You into politics? You into politics? But you still know what he looked like, don't you? Right? Just because there's social media, everything, you know what everybody looked like. Well, back then it wasn't none of that. You don't have no pictures. You don't have no social media. You don't have no TVs. You don't have nothing. So even though this is the king, you may have never seen him. Right? So all he needs to do really is to dress like he's not the king. So he just put on other clothes. So then he walk out and he come and he talk to the lady with familiar spirits. Right? Watch this.
And he said, I pray thee, divine unto me by the familiar spirit, and bring him up, whom I shall name to you. Mm-hmm. And the woman said unto him, behold, you know what Saul has done, how he has cut off those that have familiar spirits and the wizards out of the land. Why then do you lay a snare for my life to cause me to die?
Right. So she talking to Saul, but she don't know she talking to Saul. So he asked her to, you know, say, call some spirit up. He looking like, do you understand what Saul did?
She.
Huh?
She.
That's what I said, right?
He said he.
You said he.
Oh, well, yeah, she. You know what I'm saying? So she looking like, do you understand what Saul did? Right? Saul said, we can't do no familiar spirit. So why are you trying to get me to do it? I feel like you set me up for a trap. Right? Well, let's see what Saul said.
And Saul sware to her by Yahuwah, saying, as Yahuwah lives, there shall no punishment happen to you for this thing. Mm-hmm. And then said the woman, whom shall I bring up to you? And he said, bring me up Samuel.
And look at, just think about this. All this is all messed up. This is the king that got rid of all the familiar spirits because of God. He comes, disguises himself as if he's not the king, and then swears to the lady by God that no punishment. So he's doing something, he's committing a sin, and then swears to the lady by God that no punishment will come to her. Right? The person that he wants to bring up is a prophet of God, and he wants to ask this prophet, what does God think about what he's doing? You have to.
That thing is messed up.
It's messed up when you look at it, but you have to understand this is exactly how messed up people are today.
And then you say no punishment will come to you when God literally said in the law, punishment is going to come to these people. So now you're putting yourself in a place as the Most High God.
So now think about this typical Christian, right? Typical Christian, the Bible says turn from sin. Typical Christian says, believe in Jesus Christ, that he died on the cross for your sin, and then you will be washed of all your sin. Then they turn around and tell you, but it's impossible to stop sinning. Everybody sins. It's impossible to stop sinning, right? That's God's grace. So all you got to do is believe really hard and try your best. That's confusion. It's the same thing that Saul doing. Saul saying one thing, the Bible say, punish her, but hey, I swear to God, I'm not going to punish you. But God told me to punish you, but I swear to God, I'm not going to do it. The Bible say, don't mess with familiar spirits. He's going to say, listen, mess with the familiar spirit, but call me a man of God that can talk to God for me, because God ain't talking to me. So if you call me a dead prophet, maybe he will talk to me for God, right? So let's see what happened. That's like a Christian sitting here wearing a cross when the Bible say no images of any figure, and you got a darn Jesus piece on your chest, right? That's an idol, right? But at the same time, you're going to say, you know what? Oh, praise God. With an idol on. That's the type of stuff that he's doing right now, right? That's how I want you. The only reason I want y'all to point that out, because we look at that and it's like, this is craziness. But it's only crazy if you respect and understand what the scripture is saying. If you don't respect and understand it, these Christians don't respect and understand it. So for them, it's not craziness. It's like, it's crazy for us to think that, for them, they think it's crazy for us to say that a cross is an idol, that a fish on the back of their car is an idol. They think we being petty when we say stuff like that, right? Keep going, watch this.
Then said the woman, whom shall I bring up to you? And he said, bring me up Samuel. And when the woman saw Samuel, she cried with a loud voice. And the woman spake to Saul, saying, why have you deceived me? For you are Saul.
So now the spirit told her, the spirit that she called up told her that she dealing with Saul. Right? Watch this.
And the king said unto her, be not afraid, for what did you see? And the woman said unto Saul, I saw gods ascending out of the earth. And he said unto her, what form is he of? And she said, an old man comes up, and he is covered with a mantle. And Saul perceived that it was Samuel, and he stooped with his face to the ground and bowed himself. And Samuel said to Saul, why have you disquieted me to bring me up? And Saul answered, I am sore distressed, for the Philistines make war against me, and God is left from me, and answered me no more, neither by prophets nor by dreams. Therefore I have called you, that you may make known to me what I should do. And then Samuel said, why then do you ask me, seeing that Yahuwah is departed from you and is become your enemy? And the Lord has done to him as he spake by me. For Yahuwah has rent the kingdom out of your hand and given it to your neighbor, even to David, because you obeyed not the voice of Yahuwah, nor execute his fierce wrath upon Amalek. Therefore has Yahuwah done this thing unto you this day. Moreover, Yahuwah will also deliver Israel with thee into the hand of the Philistines. And tomorrow you and your son shall be with me. Yahuwah also shall deliver the host of Israel into the hand of the Philistines. Then Saul fell straightway all along the earth, and was sore afraid because of the words of Samuel. And there was no strength in him, for he had eaten no bread all the day nor night.
All right. So he had this vision, and Samuel comes out in this vision, and Samuel's like, yo, I don't know why you're talking to me. You already know that this kingdom was taken from you and given to David. Matter of fact, you should also know that tomorrow, you and your son, y'all gonna be dead like me.
This was the time. Well, when I first read this, like it hit me real hard, like, whoa, like that's real. This lady called up a dead man. You know what I'm saying? That thing tripped me out.
And you have to put it in perspective. All this stuff. So you dealing with spirits, right? You're dealing with spirits. So a spirit can do what it want to do in the spiritual. You know what I'm saying? The spirit can do what it want to do. So a spirit can certainly influence a person into feeling like they talking to somebody that they love. He probably wasn't talking to to Samuel. Samuel dead, right? Book tell you when you die, you know what I'm saying, your spirit go to God, right? But the Most High God, knowing how this thing gonna happen, can certainly get his evil woman a vision and give him a vision. He's given him visions before, right? Most High God give him this vision, and just like we're gonna read later, but just like, you know what I'm saying, when one of our kings, Most High God asked which lying spirit is gonna convince Ahab to go to war, right? And this might have been the same type of thing. Like, which lying spirit gonna convince him, you know what I'm saying, that he talking to Samuel? He lay all this stuff out. But the spirits is real. Whether you're really interacting with a real person or not, who knows, right? But you're definitely interacting with real spirits. That's real. So you sit down with these people and you got Miss Cleo, call them in now, right? You know what I'm saying? Do all this stuff. You got the who is the tarot card person? You know what I'm saying? They play your little cards and be like, okay, well, this guy, or they read your palm and be like, okay, ooh, this is a strong line. This line means that you're going to go off and be, I see a doctor in your future, right? You think, you know what I'm saying? It's just fun. That's all I'm doing. This person touching your hand and they got spirits. You dealing with spirits, right? So it's important that we kind of understand how this stuff works and how this stuff play out. All this stuff is we dealing with spirits. Keep going.
And the woman came unto Saul and saw that he was sore troubled, and said unto him, Behold, your handmaid has obeyed your voice, and I have put my life in my hand, and have hearkened unto the words which you spoke unto me. Now therefore I pray thee, hearken also unto the voice of your handmaid, and let me set a morsel of bread before you, and eat, that you may have strength when you go on your way.
Watch this.
But he refused and said, I will not eat. But the servants together with the woman compelled him, and he hearkened unto their voice. So he arose from the earth and sat upon the bed. Mm-hmm. And the woman had a fat calf in the house, and she hasted and killed it, and took flour and kneaded it, and did bake unleavened bread thereof. Mm-hmm. And she brought it before Saul and before his servants, and they did eat. And then they arose up and went away that night.
Mm-hmm. That's the end of it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Chapter 29.
So we're gonna come and pick up chapter 29. We're gonna try to finish this out next week. You know what I'm saying? We had our, our Christmas detour today. So next week we're gonna try to finish out Samuel. And then the following week we'll start Samuel chapter 2. All right. What month we in?
Right now.
Mm-hmm. Your.
No, the
December.
We are in December. What does December start with?
A D.
And then what's the next letter?
D-E.
What is the prefix for DEC, like deck?
Or said better, what does that prefix mean?
Yeah, what is
right? What does that prefix
deck.
mean? Deck.
Decibel, decameter, deca.
It's not.
They don't teach y'all nothing in school.
decameter.
It's
Deca.
10. 10.
What's a decade?
10 years.
DEC, deck.
Oh.
I mean.
We didn't learn that.
Yeah, they don't teach
So
y'all
now,
nothing.
deck represents 10. It's a prefix that means 10. But what month is December?
12.
It's the 12th month, isn't it? It doesn't.
Like a decagon
But-
has 10 sides.
If you look at our calendar, you know what month this is right now?
Probably the 10th.
It is the 10th month. You know what the 10th month is called? Tebeth.
Tibet.
Tebeth. Right? And today in particular, because I can't see either, today in particular is the 8th day of Tebeth. Right? The 8th day of the 10th month. Right? So the reason why that is, because we talk about everything that influences, the reason why that is everything these people got, a lot of it, I ain't gonna say everything, a lot of what these people got, they copied from us, or at least they started by copying from us. So even the months, they got the timing of their months from us. Now they changed all the time and they mess it up, but the general timing of their months, they got it from us. So December, right? The 10th month is what it represents. The 10th month is what it was. But what they actually did then is they added months in the beginning. So January and I think it's January. It may be January and August are added months, right? It may be January and August. Because if you look at it, all of the other months you'll see, or not all of them, but a lot of the other months you'll see that they align to the number, right? You have represents 10. You have November, right? How you say 9 in Spanish?
Nueve.
Nueve, right? No.
That's crazy. That's bogus. That is so bogus.
Does your dad speak Spanish?
That is so crazy.
She be speaking
That
like.
is so crazy. That was crazy.
Your dad speaks Spanish, right?
That was outrageous. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
So you add November, you know what I'm saying? The NOV is like Nueve, right? It's the same root, right? And then what comes before November?
What is Ock?
Right? How many sides are on the octagon?
Okay.
Right? So October is the 8th month. Right? So you got 8, 9, 10. Right? Same thing with September, right? Same thing, all that stuff. So you can go back, but I think August was, I might not be right about this, but I think August was added because August was named after the emperor, right? So it was
Augustine.
yeah, I think it's Augustine or whatever his name was. The August was named after the emperor, and January was named after an emperor, if I'm not mistaken. You know what I'm saying? Again, y'all can fact check me on this. I ain't trying to be an expert in none of these people's stuff. I don't know what these people's stuff is, but I know they added 2 months, and then they changed the timing of the. You know what I'm saying? They changed the timing of the month. So now, what would have been the 10th month became the 12th month. All right, so they just kind of shift things around. But if we look at it, we in our 10th month to Beth. And one of the things I try to tell my sons is, you know what I'm saying, that stuff is fake, right? This stuff, you know what I'm saying, this Christmas stuff, all that stuff is fake. We don't celebrate it, we don't mess with it. You know what I'm saying? My daughter her poor little daughter, she'd be looking at the Christmas lights. She'd be like, oh, because she loved the Christmas lights. She'd be like, oh, look at the light. I'm like, no, Daddy don't like them lights. Yeah, you gotta start them early. You gotta indoctrinate them early. You know what I'm saying? You get to the point, he think Christmas is a bad word.
Yeah.
He be saying he be like, I don't even like saying the word. You know what I'm saying? He be like, I don't even like saying the word.
I was like, I remember he was like, you know what I'm saying? Somebody said somewhere, he was like, no, Christmas is bad.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? He be like, yeah, you gotta indoctrinate their butt early. You know what I'm saying? My other son, Zakai, he said, what was he saying? He was singing one of the Christmas songs, but it got Christmas in it. What song was that? It got Christmas in it. I don't know what song it is, but let's just say it's This Christmas. I don't even know how that song go. But he would, every time they say Christmas, he'd switch it out with Purim. So he was like, this Purim, this, that, and the other, this Purim. You know what I'm saying? This, that, and the other, you know what I'm saying? So he's singing the song, but he switched it out with Purim. So I'm looking at that bothered me. So I'm looking like, that's not how that works. You know what I'm saying? No, you don't just switch out the darn word.
Thing the Christians
did. You know what I'm saying? No. You know what I'm saying? I was like, no, why you choose Purim? Don't try to make it look like just because we give gifts on Purim, that's equivalent to Christmas. Like, nah, it ain't even the same. It's a whole different thing. But that's one of the days we celebrate, right? We celebrate Purim as that will be our next day that we celebrate. Should land. When does that land? Purim is going to be on February 27th, right? So February 27th, you know what I'm saying? And we'll be celebrating Purim. But you know, that's important for us, right? It's important for us to know what these people's traditions are, understand at least a little bit about where they come from, just so we understand the foolishness that's involved with it. All right, we don't want to just be following stuff just to follow it. You know what I'm saying? We should understand exactly what we're doing and why we're doing it, right? That's what the education is about. That's what the book do for us. All this other stuff, they want you to remain ignorant. You know what I'm saying? They'll tell you that the Bible was designed by a white man and the Bible will divide you. And then they'll come and break up all these different LGBTQ and have them all fighting against each other.
Plus, cannot forget the point.
These people can't get along if you pay them to. They talking about the LGBT community. Ain't no darn me. All of them fighting. You know what I'm saying? LGBT plus. You know how mad I'd be if you just called me a plus. Everybody else, you get to be an L, you get to be a B, a G, and a T, and I'm a plus.
I'm a plus. It's crazy.
I'll pluck you upside your head. If I'm gonna be gay, you gotta, you know what I'm saying? Give me my whole title. Type of stuff it is. I'm already gonna go to hell. At least give me my darn title.
That's funny.
All right.